got Dragon Ball Super Manga chapter 49 in the history books, and figuring out what Moro could do with his magic restored, and we got answers pretty quickly. There's a limitation to Moro because not from a magical standpoint, from a physical standpoint, because it's mentioned in that manga chapter like Vegeta's like one-on-one when we go full power Super Saiyan Blue, he can't touch us. We got the advantage. So I'm like, unless they're underestimating Moro, and in the previous chapter we saw Moro literally avoid Goku and Vegeta a confrontation after he had his magic restored. So I'm like, is Moro afraid of Goku and Vegeta as a physical threat? Trolling. So that kind of never got clarified, but we start off with Moro absorbing the remaining energy of the new planet Namek, and mostly everybody's on the verge of death, and Goku and Vegeta and the Great Lord of Lords, they use instant transmission. Goku and Vegeta switch to blue. They immediately go in. When they go to attack, they come to find out that it's pretty much after images, and the real ones on chilling out, absorbing energy on an asteroid field. So that's kind of cool. Kind of reminds me of Pycom from the World Tournament filler arc, where he's just chilling out on a planet. And meanwhile, this is going on. We have a conversation back on Namek where I get Eska, the Namekian child, is talking with Jaco, and Miris is like, oh, no matter what, I'm going to survive this because as long as there's one of us left, I make my promise. We come to find out he's also the grand leader of the Namekians now. So that happened off screen. So I was wondering about that. I kind of asked why Cranberry decided to kill off Moray, the previous Namekian leader, because that would have killed off Porunga and screwed up all of Moray's plans. Come to find out the reason for it is because Eska was already the leader. Makes sense, that reveal. And Goku and Vegeta and Moro, and the thing about it is Moro's in the outer space and Goku tries to give chase, and I love, it's funny because Vegeta's like, wait, Kakarot, you can't breathe in space, so don't go after him. And it's like Goku actually forgot about that, which makes sense because we saw that between Beerus and Goku, they're like in the atmosphere of Earth, but not in the outer space itself. And he actually fires an energy blast, but Moro actually absorbs it, and actually tanks the hit from the Great Lord of Lords. I love that moment because you see the smile on his face, like he's got everything under control right now. He tries to troll him, the Great Lord of Lords, the Kaio tries to troll him, thinking he's going to take his magical abilities away by using that technique, and Moro's like, he catches on pretty quickly because it's like, you don't have any god power, so you can't unleash that technique anymore. And the Kaio's like, oh, you saw right through it, it's sharp. So, and we come to find out the reason why when Goku and Vegeta are back on the Galactic Patrol ship, according to Miris, like when Boo and the evil version of himself separated, like Boo took the physical capabilities, but the evil Boo took the god powers, which I found very interesting because, and Goku pretty much point out blank stated, like that little kid Boo actually had god powers. Like that's very interesting because if that's the case, and it sucks if he wasn't a reckless maniac, if he knew how to train that, how much more minimal would Majin Buu have been? At least Kid Buu. But the fact that he has god powers, which kind of makes sense in a way, but he never tapped into it. Which, I mean, looking for Goku and Vegeta, right? So, also does is also foreshadowed because we know for a fact that Oob is the reincarnation of Kid Buu. So I'm wondering down the line, if that's the fact, and we know he inherited his power as well, could Oob possibly tap into that god power at some point? Because it seems like there's no reason to bring that up if it's not going to lead to something. And I don't know if they're ever going to highlight that, but it's just something to think about, really, because I find that interesting. Kid Buu arc alongside this chapter, and because we see the Great Lord of Lords often a flashback where he's watching Goku launch the Spirit Bomb on Kid Buu, and that evil version of himself lost that magical abilities, the god powers. So, and apparently Moro can seep into other people's memories too. So he's like, oh, so that's what happened in your memories. You lost your god powers, and now you can't use that technique. Too bad. Which kind of makes sense. And I actually called this early on in the arc when about Goku and Vegeta. It's like, oh, we wouldn't have relied on a technique like that. It's just relied on a flashy technique like that anyway. Which I said, like, because it's not in Goku and Vegeta's nature to like use a technique like that. Think back to the Future Trunks arc when Goku learned the Mafuba wave and forgot the pot. He forgot the teapot. He forgot the jar to actually seal Zamasu inside that thing. Goku was just like carefree. He's like, oh well, I guess we'll just have to beat him anyway. Which I said that was going to be the case anyway, so there's not going to be any Deus Ex Machina type of deal. So that's kind of cool. So either Moro's going to get defeated by Goku and Vegeta, or Moro is going to move on to there's going to be a continuation with Moro down the line. So I'm curious where that's going to go. But either way, the Great Lord of Lords, at a huge disadvantage, he gets sent down to a rock planet. The idea is like, oh, Goku and Vegeta, can you assure me you're actually stronger than Moro? And Vegeta's like, yeah, of course, because if one of us are in full power Super Saiyan Blue, he can't touch it. So the fact that he brought one of us kind of makes me reinforce the fact, are they going to use fusion by the end of this? Because I don't see Goku and Vegeta actually taking down Moro. Since they don't have any way of, they don't have the magic sealing technique in reserve. They don't have to like block the absorption technique of Moro. So unless they have something in reserve, it's going to be the same way. Unless Vegeta was telling the truth of the Great Lord of Mirrors, because first off, it's like, I'm going to find a way to get Moro back on the planet now to give you the advantage. So he comes up with a strategy. So the shooter from his palm, or the gun shooter, and Moro being super cocky, he's like, oh, what are you going to do with that toy? And you can see what he's going for, because you see the rock behind him, like he's blasting. But while this is going on, Moro speed blitz, avoiding the blasts, I guess the lasers. But Mirrors is using that so he can get the huge chunk of rock, so he can use that as a distraction. He swings it Moro's way, he punches it. Like, you knew what was coming, because he's using that as a distraction to come in point blank range. He has some type of flash grenade or flashbang grenade on his boots, so he temporarily blinds Moro, so the Great Lord of Lords can sneak behind him, use instant transmission, get him straight to Planet Namek, where Goku and Vegeta are awaiting him. I love that moment because that's kind of cool. It's like, Goku, oh, you're ready for a fair fight now, even though it's technically 2-on-1. And it's kind of cool because we see Goku and Vegeta team up against Moro. We saw that against Jiren, and we saw that against Broly. So I'm wondering how that's going to fare against Moro. Going in, and I said this before, that they're setting up Vegeta's character to do something epic. So unless he has a hand separately of taking down Moro, which I don't see happening, get an Ultra Instinct awakening from Goku. If not, then I definitely see a fusion happening. Vegeta and Goku are like cocky. He's like, oh, you don't realize the situation you're in, and Moro's like, you're so naive. He's laughing it off because you forgot one thing. And I guarantee some of the people in this chapter who was reading this chapter forgot it. I didn't. I was thinking this throughout the entire chapter. Is what was Moro's second wish? What was his third wish? The second wish hasn't kicked in from Porunga yet. It kind of makes me wonder, did he wish for immortality? Because it had to be something that tips the scale in his favor, even with the 2-on-1 situation. Great Lord of Lords says he's going to help out Goku and Vegeta. We'll have to wait to find out. In chapter 50, it looks like to be the final battle. And so, like I said, either Moro's going to be taken down by Goku and Vegeta, or Gogeta, or Moro's going to survive this arc, and we're going to get a continuation, possibly, because he did say a couple of chapters ago, how we have met in my prime, you would not have stood a chance. Like, you are so beneath me now, so we're going to find out pretty quick. So if that's the case, and we never got to see what Goku could do at full power against Moro because he already had his energy absorbed. Vegeta got tricked, literally trolled again. So those are my thoughts. Please tell me in the comments. That's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like this review if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more Dragon Ball Super. Catch you guys later. Bye.